If you've been keeping up with the young and the restless lately, then you already know, nothing in Genoa City ever stays quiet for long. And just when things seem like they might settle down, someone like Victor Newman steps in and changes everything. Wednesday, April 22nd is shaping up to be one of those turning point episodes, the kind where decisions are made, secrets start slipping out, and power shifts in a big way. At the center of it all is Victor Newman. And this time, he's not just making threats, he's delivering. Victor has always been known for playing the long game. He doesn't rush. He doesn't panic. He watches, he waits, and when the moment is right, he strikes. That's exactly what's happening now. What viewers are about to see isn't a sudden reaction, it's the payoff of a carefully crafted plan that's been building behind the scenes. For Victor, this isn't just business. It's personal. Phyllis Summers has found herself in a powerful position recently, but if there's one thing longtime fans understand, it's that going up against Victor Newman rarely ends well. And unfortunately for Phyllis, she's about to learn that lesson the hard way. In the previous episode, we already saw the first cracks begin to form. Key executives started walking away, one by one. Not by accident, not by coincidence, but because Victor made it happen. He didn't attack directly, he dismantled the structure holding everything together. And that was only step one. Now, as Wednesday's episode unfolds, the next phase of Victor's plan begins. And this part? It's much more aggressive. There are strong hints that Victor is ready to release damaging proof, something that could completely destroy Phyllis's credibility. Not just rumors, not just accusations, but something that looks real enough to shake everything she's built. Whether it's entirely true or strategically manipulated doesn't even matter at this point, because in Victor's world, perception is power. And once that perception turns against you, it's almost impossible to recover. What makes this situation even more intense is that Phyllis isn't the only one who could be affected. Names like Billy Abbott and Kane Ashby are also hovering around this storyline, which means the fallout could spread fast. This isn't just a personal takedown, it could turn into a full-scale collapse involving multiple players. Meanwhile, Phyllis is starting to feel the pressure close in. Losing top-level staff is one thing, but realizing that someone like Victor is pulling the strings behind the scenes? That's a completely different level of danger. Phyllis is smart, no doubt about that. She's survived worse situations before. But this time, the stakes are higher, and the opponent is more dangerous than ever. And here's the thing, Victor isn't known for mercy. When he decides to take someone down, he doesn't stop halfway. He follows through. Completely. So as Wednesday's episode plays out, viewers can expect to see that pressure intensify. Phyllis won't go down without a fight, that's just not who she is, but the question is, does she even see the full scope of what she's up against? Because while she's trying to hold everything together, Victor is already 3 steps ahead. And that's what makes this so compelling. It's not just about who wins or loses, it's about how it all unfolds. The strategy, the timing, the unexpected twists, all of it builds toward a moment where everything could change in an instant. By the end of this part of the story, one thing will be clear. Victor Newman meant every word he said. And now, he's proving it. While Victor's plan is unfolding right in front of everyone, there's another layer to this story that's just as dangerous, and it's happening much more quietly. Over on the sidelines, or at least, what looks like the sidelines, Victoria Newman is making moves of her own. And if you know Victoria, then you already understand, she doesn't act without a reason. In The Young and the Restless, Victoria has always been someone who plays things smart. She doesn't always come in loud or aggressive like Victor. Instead, she watches, calculates, and then targets exactly what she needs. And right now, her focus is locked on Phyllis Summers. But this isn't just about loyalty to her father. This feels more personal. As Victor puts pressure on Phyllis from one side, Victoria is quietly working from another angle, digging into Phyllis's past, searching for something damaging. Something that could be used at the perfect moment. And let's be honest, if there's one thing Phyllis has, it's history. A complicated, messy, unpredictable history. Which means Victoria doesn't have to look too far to find something questionable. The real question is, what exactly is she looking for? Because this doesn't feel random. It feels targeted. Victoria isn't just collecting information for the sake of it, she's building a weapon. Something specific. Something that could hit Phyllis where it hurts the most. And knowing how strategic Victoria can be, she's probably waiting for the exact right time to use it. Timing, in this situation, is everything. Meanwhile, Phyllis is starting to feel like the walls are closing in. On one side, Victor is destabilizing her entire business structure. On the other, Victoria is potentially preparing to expose something from her past. It's pressure from both directions, and that kind of pressure can force even the strongest players into making mistakes. And mistakes are exactly what Victor and Victoria are counting on. Because once Phyllis slips, even just a little, it opens the door for everything to fall apart faster. What makes this even more intense is that Phyllis doesn't yet have a clear picture of what Victoria is doing. She may suspect something, she's not naive, but she doesn't know the full extent of it. And that puts her at a serious disadvantage. In Genoa City, knowledge is power. And right now, Victoria might be holding more power than anyone realizes. There's also an interesting dynamic forming here between father and daughter. Victor is leading the charge, no doubt about that. But Victoria isn't just following orders, she's contributing in her own way, adding another layer to the strategy. It's almost like a coordinated attack. Victor weakens the foundation. Victoria looks for the final blow. And right in the middle of it all is Phyllis, trying to keep control of a situation that's slipping further out of her hands with every passing moment. Still, if there's one thing fans know about Phyllis, it's this: she doesn't give up easily. She's fought her way out of impossible situations before. She's taken hits, made comebacks, and surprised everyone more than once. So counting her out completely would be a mistake. But this time feels different. Because this isn't just one enemy. It's the Newman machine. And when that machine is fully in motion, it's almost unstoppable. As Wednesday's episode continues, the tension around Phyllis is only going to build. The pressure, the uncertainty, the feeling that something bigger is coming, it's all leading toward a moment where everything could shift instantly. The big question is, will Phyllis find a way to fight back before it's too late? Or is Victoria about to uncover something that changes the game completely? While the Newman family tightens its grip on Phyllis from all sides, another storyline is quietly building, one that could explode in a completely different way. And this one? It's personal. Because over at the Abbott mansion, something unexpected is unfolding between Nikki Newman and Jack Abbott. Now, longtime viewers of The Young and the Restless know that Nikki and Jack share a deep history. This isn't just a casual friendship. These two have been through years of emotional ups and downs, moments of connection, and times when their bond felt stronger than anything else in their lives. Even when they've tried to move on, that connection never fully disappears. And lately, it's starting to resurface again. At first, it may seem innocent. A conversation that lingers a little longer than it should. A moment of comfort that feels a little too close. The kind of interaction that can be explained away until it can't. Because emotions have a way of building quietly. And then suddenly, they're impossible to ignore. As Wednesday's episode unfolds, Nikki and Jack find themselves in one of those moments, a moment that crosses a line, even if it's not a physical one. It's the kind of situation that, if seen from the outside, raises serious questions. And unfortunately for them, someone does see it. Diane Abbott. And this is where things take a sharp turn. Because Diane walking in at the wrong moment? That's not just bad timing, it's a recipe for chaos. Diane and Nikki have never exactly been on good terms. There's tension there, history there, and a level of distrust that never really goes away. So seeing Nikki in a compromising position with Jack isn't something Diane is going to take lightly. Not even a little. What makes this even more complicated is Diane's own recent experience. She just went through a situation where trust was already shaken, catching Jack in a questionable moment before. So now, walking in on this? It's going to hit harder. Much harder. From Diane's perspective, this could look like a pattern. Like Jack is slipping back into old habits. like history is repeating itself right in front of her eyes. And once that idea takes hold, it's not easy to undo. Because doubt spreads fast. Even if Nikki and Jack try to explain, try to downplay what happened, or insist that nothing crossed the line, the damage may already be done. Sometimes it's not about what actually happened. It's about how it looked. And how it felt in that moment. For Nikki, this situation is just as complicated. She may not have intended for things to go this far, but emotions don't always follow logic. Being around Jack again, leaning on him, finding comfort in him, it can blur boundaries before you even realize it's happening. And once that boundary is crossed, even slightly, there's no going back to the way things were before. Jack, on the other hand, is now stuck in the middle of two very strong, very emotional women, both with deep ties to his past and present. And no matter what he says or does next, someone is going to get hurt. That's unavoidable. As this storyline continues to build, the fallout could be serious. Not just for Jack and Diane's marriage, but for the relationships surrounding them as well. Trust, once broken, is hard to repair, and this moment might be the crack that leads to something much bigger. So while Victor and Victoria are busy playing their strategic game against Phyllis, a different kind of drama is unfolding behind closed doors. One built on emotion, history, and choices that can't be taken back. And now that Diane has seen something she can't unsee, the real question is, what is she going to do about it? By the time Wednesday's episode of The Young and the Restless moves deeper into the hour, the tension isn't just building anymore. It's starting to break. What began as quiet moves and hidden strategies is now turning into visible consequences. And for several key players in Genoa City, the pressure is becoming impossible to ignore. Let's start with Phyllis Summers. At this point, she's no longer just sensing that something is wrong, she knows it. The sudden wave of resignations, the shifting loyalty within her company, the feeling that control is slipping through her fingers, it's all hitting at once. And for someone like Phyllis, who thrives on staying one step ahead, this kind of uncertainty is dangerous. Because when Phyllis loses control, she reacts. And that reaction can either save her or make everything worse. There's a growing sense that she's running out of time to figure out her next move. Victor Newman hasn't just challenged her, he's cornered her. And now, every decision she makes carries more risk than ever before. Does she fight back publicly? Does she try to strike a deal? Or does she go after Victor directly and risk escalating things even further? None of these options are safe. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Victoria Newman is getting closer to exactly what she's been looking for. Whatever dirt she's digging up on Phyllis, it's starting to take shape. And the energy around Victoria is shifting. There's a confidence there now, a quiet certainty that she's onto something big. Something that could completely change the direction of this battle. But here's the twist. Victoria may not reveal it right away. Because just like her father, she understands the value of timing. Dropping a bomb too early can weaken its impact. But waiting for the perfect moment? That's how you make it devastating. So while Phyllis is scrambling to keep things together, Victoria could be holding onto a secret that's about to make everything worse. And then there's the situation at the Abbott house. After walking in on Nikki Newman and Jack Abbott, Diane Abbott is left trying to process what she just saw. But this isn't something she can easily brush off or forget. That moment is now stuck in her mind, playing over and over again. And the more she thinks about it, the more questions start to form. Was it really innocent? Or is something deeper going on? Diane isn't someone who ignores her instincts. And right now, those instincts are telling her that something isn't right. That what she saw wasn't just a misunderstanding, but a warning sign. Which means confrontation is coming. Sooner rather than later. Jack, on the other hand, is entering a very fragile position. He may try to calm things down, explain the situation, reassure Diane, but the problem is, trust has already been shaken. And once that happens, words don't carry the same weight. Nikki, too, is going to have to face the reality of what just happened. Even if nothing physical crossed the line, the emotional connection alone is enough to cause damage, especially when someone like Diane is involved. This isn't something that can just be ignored and moved past. It's going to resurface. Again and again. As all of these storylines begin to collide, there's a clear shift happening in Genoa City. Control is slipping. Secrets are rising. And relationships are starting to crack under pressure. Victor's plan is no longer just an idea, it's actively changing lives. Victoria is getting closer to delivering her own blow. And Diane is standing on the edge of a confrontation that could shake her entire marriage. Everything is moving at once. And the calm that once existed? It's gone. Now, it's all about what happens next. Because once the fallout truly begins, there's no stopping it. As Wednesday's episode of The Young and the Restless reaches its final moments, one thing becomes crystal clear. Nothing in Genoa City will be the same after this. What started as a strategic play by Victor Newman has now turned into a full-scale power shift. The pieces are no longer being set, they're already in motion. And for the people caught in the middle of it all, the consequences are just beginning. Victor, as always, stands at the center of the storm. Calm. Controlled. Completely confident in what he's doing. This isn't chaos to him, it's execution. Every move he made leading up to this moment was intentional. Every step was calculated. And now, as the impact of his plan spreads, Victor isn't reacting. He's watching. Because this is the moment he was waiting for. Phyllis Summers, on the other hand, is facing a reality she can't ignore anymore. She's been challenged before. She's been knocked down before. But this? This feels different. This feels like everything she built is being stripped away piece by piece, and faster than she can recover. And the worst part? She may not even know where the next hit is coming from. With Victor applying pressure from one side and Victoria Newman holding on to whatever secret she's uncovered, Phyllis is surrounded. Every move she makes now has to be precise, because one wrong step could finish what Victor started. But if there's one thing that can't be overlooked, it's this. Phyllis is a survivor. And survivors don't go down quietly. So while things may look bleak right now, there's always the possibility that she finds a way to flip the script. The question is, will she figure it out in time? Meanwhile, Victoria is standing in a powerful position of her own. She's no longer just supporting her father's plan, she's contributing to it in a major way. And whatever information she's uncovered about Phyllis could become the final piece that brings everything crashing down. But Victoria's strength isn't just in what she knows. It's in how she uses it. If she times it right, her move could be even more devastating than Victor's. And that's what makes her so dangerous right now. Then there's the emotional fallout still brewing at the Abbott house. Diane Abbott hasn't said everything she's thinking yet, but it's coming. What she saw between Nikki Newman and Jack Abbott isn't something she can just forget. It's planted a seed of doubt, and that seed is already starting to grow. The longer it sits there, the deeper it goes. And when it finally comes out, it won't be quiet. Jack is about to be forced into a position where he has to defend himself, explain his actions, and try to hold his marriage together all at the same time. But the truth is, even the best explanation may not be enough. Because sometimes, it's not about logic. It's about trust. And once that trust is shaken, everything changes. Nikki, too, will have to face what this moment really means. Whether she admits it or not, something shifted between her and Jack. And now that it's been seen, it can't be undone. That connection, the history, the emotion, the pull between them is no longer hidden. It's exposed. As all these storylines come together, the episode closes with a sense that something bigger is coming. This isn't the end of the drama. It's the beginning of a much larger fallout. Victor has made his move. Victoria is ready to make hers. Phyllis is on the edge. And Diane is holding on to a truth that could change everything. So now the question isn't just what happens next.